So a 2-2 draw, just what your thoughts on the game first?
Naturally disappointed that we've obviously drawn the game. Not really too much that I can be critical about in terms of the performance of the players outside of the start and the second goal. I thought we had full control of that game. Thought we played some really good football, created so many opportunities, not just half chances but clear-cut opportunities as well, and a combination of bits of poor finishing, good goalkeeping. Has meant that we've not won the game, combined with, obviously, as I said, the disappointing goals. I mean, you can't start a game the way that we did, to go and let them score off a corner inside, a minute, 90 seconds. You just straight away, they've got something to defend and hold on to, and despite that, we controlled and dominated all the first half. Felt our quality wasn't quite good enough at times, but the message at half time was clear. We just need to be a little bit more aggressive at times, a little bit more detailed in our work, have that little bit more quality and composure in the last part of the pitch. And I felt if we could equalise quickly, I had no doubt we'd go on and win the game. And obviously we go and score a really good goal with Jay Turner-Cook and quickly score the second. And from there you hope the game keeps going in the same direction that it is. And it felt and looked at that moment that we were going to go on and really take the game away from them. But just poor defending to let them go and equalise. It gives them something to hold on to again. And despite us staying on top and creating other opportunities and pushing right till the end, winning the penalty, and then of course missing the penalty, has meant that we've drawn a game that we've been massively superior in, and ultimately at this stage of the season, a point isn't enough, and that's incredibly disappointing.
Yeah, as you said, obviously a pretty disastrous start, but then really one-way traffic for the rest of that first half.
Yeah, one-way traffic for the rest of the game, not just the first half. They've scored from a corner. We spoke specifically about the threat of Moles despite his size. He's a player that I signed at Curzon Ashton from Warrington Town. He did great for Curzon, and he's been fantastic for them. And he's a very good player, and he's clever, and he's sharp, and it's a brilliant header. But one or two of ours probably just didn't start the game well enough, and you can't do that. And obviously then you're chasing a game, and I think there were one or two moments in the second half where, because we made changes to be aggressive and be positive to try and win the game, there were one or two moments on transition where they got in, but the second goal was really poor. I mean, he's got between two of our lads on the far side of the pitch. He's put a low cross in that's travelled right across the middle of the 6-yard box, and that's just too easy. And what we said to the players at the end was, you think the 2 goals that they've scored are gifts, and you then think how hard we've had to work and how well we've had to play to score our 2 goals and create our chances, and ultimately that's cost us again today.
Yeah, it was 2 really well worked goals in the space of 3 minutes to get us back in front, and as you said, felt like we might have run away with it after that.
Yeah, I felt if we scored that first goal, I felt we would go on, and we did. We scored the first, the players smelt blood, they were on the ascendancy, they were playing well, scored the second, and we needed to really stand on the gas then and go and try and get the third. But then I think, was it 3 or 4 minutes from us going 2-1 up to it becoming 2-2, and all that kind of energy inside the stadium kind of drained away with them equalising, and then we've got to try and get going again. They've got something to hold on to, and the players kept pushing right till the end, as they have done all season. Obviously we then go and win the penalty and of course miss it, and that's been a massive Achilles heel for us this season. I've lost count of how many we've missed, and it's not just Will. We've had other players who've had opportunities and stepped up and missed as well, so it's not just him. But we must have missed 6, 7, 8 penalties this season, and that's That's crazy, really. And unfortunately today, that it's cost us.
And of course, obviously, with just 3 games to go, 2 points dropped, but it's back on the road for Saturday, a long trip down south for Yeovil.
Yeah, look, and as I've said to the players there, been saying now for weeks, until it's mathematically over, we'll keep pushing, and we've kept pushing there, and we should have won that game. End of. We were the better team in that game for 89 minutes of it. Outside of the first minute where they started better and they scored, we were the better team, better footballing team, created the most chances, control, dominance, final third entries, everything. But we've gifted them 2 goals and we've not scored more than we should have done. But we've kept going. And until it's mathematically impossible, we will keep going. And all we can do is go down to Yeovil and win. And we will need to do that. We will need to go down there and win. We needed snookers before today. We need probably Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Henry now. But we'll keep going.
Thank you.